Hello everyone, welcome to IB Physics Campus Economics. This is going to be an Introduction Economics 1.1 from the textbook of the Cambridge Economics textbook. Firstly, economics is a social science. Those are academic disciplines that study human society and social relationships. They're concerned with discovering the general principles, describing how societies function and how they're organized. Some of the other subjects you may know from the social sciences are political science, psychology, sociology, and of course economics. Economics also mainly deals with human society and behavior, but it approaches it in a scientific way. It's a social science because it studies it based on the scientific method using graphs and all. Let's establish the difference between micro and macroeconomics. You can think of microeconomics as looking through economics through a microscope, and macroeconomics is looking through economics with a telescope. The micro level examines the behavior of individual decision-making units in the economy. The two main group of decision makers we study are consumers or households and firms or businesses. Microeconomics is concerned with how those makers behave, how they make choices, what are the consequences of their decisions, and how their interactions determine market prices. The macro level examines the economy as a whole, or it sees the overall picture of the economy. Macroeconomics uses aggregates, which are wholes or collections of many individual units, such as the sum of consumer behaviors, the sum of firm behaviors, and the total income and output of the entire economy, as well as the total employment and overall price level. So these are some key concepts that you're going to need to know for economics at IB. Firstly, scarcity. It refers to the idea that resources in the world are insufficient to satisfy the infinite human needs and wants. If scarcity didn't exist, economics would not be a social science because we study how we deal with scarcity and how resources are allocated the way they are to satisfy everyone. Economics is also economics is also simply defined as the study of choice. Because resources are scarce, all needs and wants cannot be satisfied. Choices must be made on what is produced and what is foregone. Efficiency, this is going to be important in the future, refers to making the best possible use of resources to avoid any waste, and also using the fewest possible resources to produce a good or service, so that it satisfies society's needs and wants, also known as allocative efficiency, which we will learn in the future topics. Equity is being fair or just. This is not the same as equality, as equality is a normative term. It's based on what people think. This is mostly in connection to income and wealth distribution and human opportunity. Fairness is a normative concept because ideas are fair according to beliefs or values and judgments. In economics, the idea of equity is defined with equality and inequality, and are used mostly in connection with equality in the distribution of income, wealth, and human opportunity. Change. Economics is in a continuous state of change, in theory and in the real world. Theoretically, this can be situation to situation, but realistically, this includes changes in environments which can be technologically, socially, politically. Intervention, this mainly refers to government intervention, meaning that the government becomes involved with the workings of markets when they think that the market is not operating at an efficient rate or not operating at a socially desirable rate, which would be satisfying all the needs and wants of humans. Why does scarcity force choices to be made? Economics can also be referred to as a careful management of resources in today's society to avoid waste. Human beings, as we discussed, have unlimited needs and wants. Some are satisfied by other things, such as cars. Some people are satisfied by other things, such as sports, video games. A key difference that you might want to remember are the difference between goods and services. Goods are physical objects such as food, clothing, houses, books, etc. And non-physical activities are services such as education, healthcare, entertainment. Resources are the inputs used to produce goods and services wanted by people, and for this reason, they're known as factors of production, which are things like labor, machines, factories, or gifts of nature like land, soil, etc. Scarcity, um, you can also define it by the situation in which available resources or factors of production are finite. There are not enough resources to produce everything that humans need and want. So, I introduced the four factors of production earlier. Firstly, land. It can be loosely defined as all natural resources, including all agricultural and non-agricultural land, as well as everything that is under and above the land, such as minerals, oil reserves, underground water, forests, and stuff. Labor includes the physical and mental effort that people contribute to the production of goods and services. The efforts of a teacher, a construction worker, an economist all contribute to producing goods and services and all examples of labor. Capital, which is also known as physical capital, is a man-made factor of production used to produce goods and services. Examples of physical capital include machinery, tools, factories, buildings, and telephone supply lines. Physical capital is also referred to as capital good or investment good. Entrepreneurship or management is a special human skill possessed by some people. Also, entrepreneurship might not be included with the other terms such as land labor capital. It's sometimes included together and not so much other times. Entrepreneurship is a special human skill possessed by some people involving the ability to innovate by developing new ways of doing things, to take business risks and seek new opportunities for opening and running businesses. Entrepreneurship organizes the other three factors of production and takes on the risks of success or failure of a business. One of the most important terms in economics will be the opportunity cost. This is defined as the value of the next best alternative that must be given up or sacrificed to obtain something else. Every time you choose to do something, you're giving up the next best alternative that you could be doing. The fact that you're watching this video right now, you're giving up time that you could be spending making notes on other subjects, playing video games, going out with your friends. This links back to scarcity, that time that we have in the world is limited, and if it were endless, no sacrifices would be made. For example, if a consumer chooses to use the $100 to buy a pair of shoes, they're also choosing not to use this money to buy books, food, or anything else. If books are their favorite alternative to shoes, the books she sacrificed or did not buy are the opportunity cost of the shoes. If consumers had endless amounts of money, there would not be there would not be an issue of not being able to buy everything, and they would buy everything they wanted, and the shoes would have no opportunity cost. Finally, free and economic goods. A free good is anything that is not scarce, no opportunity of using it, and these are usually things provided by the government. For example, streetlights outside your house or public parks in your area. An economic good, on the other hand, an economic good has an opportunity cost of using it. It's any good that's scarce because it's a naturally occurring scarce resource, for example, oil, gold, coal, or because it's produced by scarce resources. All economic goods have an opportunity cost greater than zero. Free goods in today's day are rare because sometimes a free good can be a free good in certain situations and an economic good in others. For example, arable land in America before European colonizers arrived was a free good because it was so abundant. As the colonizers grew in numbers, it became increasingly scarce and therefore an economic good. Salt used to be a free good that has become an economic good. Oxygen in the in the open, unpolluted countryside can be a free good. In a room with no windows as crowded people, it becomes an economic good.